Welcome back to yet another StarCraft 2 commentary. Today I'll bring you a ZvT between Mondragon and roxkisBratOK. Mondragon has spawned in the bottom location here on Zelnaga Caverns as the red Zerg, and BratOK as the blue Terran in the top position. Still learning a bit about all these players. I know BratOK is a pretty good player. I've seen some of his replays, and I know he's up there in skill. I apologize for not knowing more about the pro scene. Still learning it myself. Looks like we're having pretty standard openers from both of these guys, though. Curious if Mondragon is going to do spawn before hatch. It looks like BratOK is moving out for some scouting here, and Dragon's just moving around with his probe drone trying to be annoying here. And I would imagine we'll be seeing a hatch coming down for Dragon soon. BratOK just moving his SCV in, gonna see what's going on. Not gonna see too much. We do have gas already down though, so that could be an indicator of either Zergling speed or roaches. Really depends on if this hatch goes down. Since it's not going down, I'm curious what he's gonna do here. Apologize for the lag, it's usually not this bad. We do have Zerglings and a Queen. They're going to take out this SCV. Left it there a little too long. He is moving his barracks out. This is interesting. SCV just getting chased away. Most likely will be killed soon. This barracks just floating down here. Not sure what he plans to do with that just yet. Looks like it is spotted by Mondragon. As he's moving down to place his hatchery. BratOK building a command center now that he's seen that the hatch has gone down. So he's keeping up with his opponent in terms of expansions. Don't want to let the Zerg pull ahead and stay a base ahead of you. If they expand, if you can afford it and you're in a good enough position, you should expand as well. And I mean that's true of pretty much any other race. Spinecrawler here along with some creep coming down. He's anticipating this pressure, but I believe BratOK is just moving in. I'm going to use this as an early scout. Dragon does have the two queens. Shouldn't be able to take down this barracks, but hang on here. Hatchery most of the way up. We do have Hellions out now. I missed that this was a factory. My apologies. So Dragon's got to be a little careful with his queen here. I mean, he shouldn't have to worry about the queen. But he does have to watch these Zerglings, make sure he gets a decent enough surround here. Which he does, taking out that. Okay, and we have the transfer coming with the command center. Looks like this barracks. I wonder if he's going to sneak it over here and try and place it. We do have speedlings moving out. This is an interesting location. Dragon just moving in, seeing what he can see. Siege tank is up with siege tech. Very good to have. Great defense early game. And pretty much all game, so long as you're intelligent with it. 3 additional barracks coming up for BratOK. BratOK. I'm gonna call him BratOK. I don't know exactly how he pronounces that. We do have a Roach Warren coming down for Dragon, as well as Infernal Pre-Igniter going up for BratOK. So we will be seeing more of that Hellion play soon. just getting as much scouting information as it can. Pretty much sacrificial here, but that's alright. It's getting the information that it needs. You know, he sees the dragon is pretty well saturated here. He's gonna see this roach warren as well as the hydrolist and evolution chamber. He does not know about this extra expansion here, but he might just be able to assume it. His alien's moving around, taking the long route. Probably going to try and sneak in over here. I don't think that's going to be very successful because Dragon's staying on top of his creep production here. We have the Hellions moving in here. Need to watch out for these roaches and spine crawlers. And unfortunately, they got caught out of position, and this was shut down fairly well. Yep, so that aggression was shut down. This hatchery is up. There should be a little bit of a transfer going on soon enough. We do have Overlord with speed moving in, getting all the scouting information it needs. Seeing a lot of barracks there, as well as just one factory with the siege tanks coming out. Overlord is going down there, but it did its job. More creep being spread over here, just very good, a little passive, but good from Dragon, as we have Hydralisk coming out now, and quite a few upgrades being researched for both players. We have the +1 armor and weapons for BratOK over here, and the +1 armor for Dragon. So that's pretty good. Good to see those upgrades. We do have a missile turret here, just in case of any burrowed roaches or perhaps mutas. Not a huge deterrent, but it does help. Helps you save that scan against a burrow, and just helps if there are any mutas or anything like that, helps keep them away from your units. This is a very good fortification here by BratOK. Like to see another siege tank possibly up here, but we do have forward missile turrets going down here as well. It looks like I missed this push a little bit here. My apologies. Dragon is quite a bit ahead in economy here because of this third hatch. Ah, there we go. Sensor tower. That's what I missed. Because of this third hatch here, he is 10 workers ahead, and Dragon does have a pretty healthy composition here. Not really relying on any one unit. He's got a little bit of everything. His banelings are great because he saw how many barracks there were, so he knows that there's a decent amount of ground troops, so he does need to be careful because this is very well fortified. I wouldn't be surprised to see this command center turned into a planetary fortress, but he may have intentions of lifting it off and securing yet another expansion. And speaking of securing another expansion, Dragon has taken yet another, so we'll see how long that goes. But Terran can survive quite a while on just 2 bases with mule production, so we'll see how this plays out. But Dragon is definitely comfortable. There hasn't been a lot of aggression, barely any aggression from BratOK. He's just teching up. He's got, I mean, infestors, banelings. He has a very healthy composition here. He has pretty much turned all of his Zerglings into banelings, but I mean, against this composition here, very good. So it looks like BratOK is probably going to move this command center down here and turn it into a planetary fortress. Very good use of his siege tanks right here. Gives him good range and protects his ground forces, especially from those banelings. But he does need to be a little more proactive with his scouting here. And not sure if this SCV is going to end up noticing it. You have ravens coming out. as well as level 3 weapon upgrades for BratOK. More ground armor coming up for Dragon, and yet another expansion. So BratOK is going to need to start putting on some pressure, or else Dragon's going to start really getting too much macro for BratOK to handle. He's playing very passively, very defensively, and this can be pretty dangerous against Zerg sometimes, because this happens. They take over the entire map. And I mean, sometimes it's not too bad if the Zerg player goes a little too drone heavy, because then, I mean, he has 84 drones, and if he gets too many drones, that cuts back on his potential army, so he does need to be careful there. We have quite a lot of banelings here. So despite only being on 2 bases, BratOK isn't that far behind in economy. And actually, my apologies. That's because of this third here. So hopefully we'll see an engagement soon enough. We have Ultralisk coming out. Nice fungal growth there. And here come the banelings. This is gonna clean house because he got caught out of position. He's not within range of the siege tanks, but he did manage to push this aggression back. But there was only a partial force from Dragon here. But Dragon just all over the map. BratOK does need to start pushing out, and he's going to be taking out these creep tumors. He needs to move around, get a little bit of scouting done, and see these other expansions. I mean, he'll assume it soon when this army just consistently recuperates itself. We do have Hunter Seeker missile coming down. So I actually haven't seen that used too often. So he does need to be careful with this infantry heavy composition here because of the infestors and the banelings, as well as Ultralisks, because if they can get a good enough surround and they're not caught in a choke, Ultralisks are pretty intimidating. Dragon just splitting up his forces here. Might be trying to go in for a little bit of a flank, or he might just be pulling them to the side, so if he gets scouted, he's a little bit hidden in his composition. But we'll see what his intentions are here. BratOK really going to want to push out soon. But, I mean, he's securing a 4th expansion, so perhaps he's just going to stay back and play the economic game. He has very good defenses here with these siege tanks, very well placed. He's got one that's not sieged up there, and he has his sensor tower, so he knows if anything is coming from the right hand side, so he's allowed to focus more on the left over here. Looks like something forced a stim out of him, and I missed that. Level 3 armor for Dragon is coming up, as well as level 2 attacks. Looks like they're moving out on this expansion down here, I would imagine. And there they go, moving in. Planetary Fortress is up. He's going to need to pull those SCVs to repair, but it looks like he's distracted, and he loses that expansion there, as well as quite a few SCVs. Now, his main force has moved in, and they're going to clean this up. And I mean, the army value of BratOK is huge compared to Dragon, because I believe Dragon just has way too many drones. You have to be really careful when expanding that much, because you invest so much in workers that you can't have a strong enough army. So there's a real delicate balance between how many workers is enough workers, as well as expansions,